Can we come in so we can start? Will you please call those outside to come inside, Zanda? Zanda, can you call those who are outside to come in, please? We need to start. While we are fixing the slides here, you can see on the program that we have two very inspiring topics to address. So we're going to have that is Sibonelo Nzimande, who is the Chief Director in the KZN Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs. And the topic he's going to address is the role that arts, culture, sports and business events can play in growing tourism from the perspective of the fourth industrial revolution. It looks like we have a challenge, so in the meantime, just start getting ready with the questions that you have, since we have been talking this morning, that you would like the panel later to address. I know he is under pressure to go back to Durban, but we have enough people that could form the panel to discuss some of the questions we may have, but also maybe think about the way forward based on what we have learned here today. I would like to hear more of such inputs based on the knowledge we have received today. How do we go forward for our own organizations, but also for our region and the country? Okay. But Nzimande and I, we met during the March conference. So, and I know most of you know him, so I don't know whether you want him to introduce himself. I'll hand over to him, and he's a local, he knows this place very well. But what's the protocol when you are coming from the province to your local town? I'm handing over to you.
Selamat good afternoon, goedemiddag, guten Abend. That's German, huh? What's the other language? The Machiron. Oh, the Masia. Yeah, I want to see if you are weak. No, when they don't like you, they put you after lunch when everyone is full and relaxed and they're sitting back and they're not even listening to what you are saying. You are hoping that your content will wake them up. But nonetheless, we have to do the job. Especially if you are very passionate about it. Time is not an issue. It's all about ensuring that you share the passion. There's nothing as difficult as inculcating the passion. You can't inject the passion to someone. It has to be within you. But also, it's very difficult to do something that you don't like. You know, I always equate it to proposing. Because if you receive a call and you see the missed call, you, depending on the importance and the agency, you decide to respond. But it has to be in the list of priorities for you to be able to respond. I'm given a very difficult task. I'll try and fulfill it. I'm given a task to talk about arts, culture, and sports. I can see Abuko clear. Good right, man. Okay. I prepared literally 4 or 5 presentations ever since Nhlanhla told me about this session. It came immediately after a business session that we had in March here at BlackRock. Then immediately a month later, he proposed that he will be doing, it actually came on the very same day after the program director's presentation. Then we decided there's a specific topic that we need to deal with, and it requires a conference. And I'm happy to see you as delegates of this conference. but also what excites me more is the product owners around here. But let me go straight to the presentation. Okay, technology. Okay. Okay, we will resort to manual. I'm going to share with you the actual problem that we are trying to solve, and not the symptoms. I'm also going to highlight to you opportunities that are presented by the sectors that we've identified. You know, your sports, your culture, your what. It makes it difficult to present when you have to press, but I will try to do my best. But I'm also going to link it to tourism, because I think the song is enough for tourism. Okay. I will also deal with how you can utilize Omaspala, which is the local authorities around where you are, in assisting you to formalize your business initiatives, whether it be in sports, arts, or culture. I'm also going to hint on why is it important to reduce such into policy, because e-policy is a very important thing. Once it's in the policy, it must be done. And if it's in the policy and it's not done, you have every right to complain about it, do about it, influence budget to it. But you have to know your story if you are to embark on that route. It's not everyone. Okay. Next. I will make an example about a value chain of one sector. I've chosen film because film sometimes reflects on our culture, which is our way of life. Sometimes it impacts on sporting activities, and I'm going to show you how you can utilize culture and arts and identify the value chain and opportunities within. Next. I'll talk about jobs that are practical in the film industry, what has been done. I've tried by all means to localize the presentation here so that it talks to Izindo, Ezi around Newcastle, and also it's things that you can see, feel, and touch, and you can verify if they've happened. I'm not here to say this is what can be done. I'm saying this is what has been done and what is possible. Next. Ama-problems zethu South Africa siyawazi sonke, and konke lokho esikwenzayo are means or interventions to solve the real problem. The real problem, next, is inequality. There is partial inequality based on the apartheid laws, but now there is a democratic government which is responsible for rearranging, reconfiguring, putting people in different spaces, recognizing landmarks that were not recognized, creating road linkages to new business areas, new cultural activities, new infrastructure. There is now Moses Mabhida in KZN. There was no Moses Mabhida before. There is Herigwada Stadium. There was no Herigwada. But that is also now opening doors for what we call sports tourism. Next. Maintain eye contact with Suzo. Suzo for IRH. The other reality is this inequality of having infrastructure there purposely to support a minority group then led us to where we are, where you have economic infrastructure on the other side and you've got population on the other side that is not able to link the two to get employment and also get business opportunities. The last one, if the first two is not addressed, the third one is an obvious one. And that's the most painful one. And that's the one that encourages me to wake up every day. And that's the one that encourages me to study. I'm a student, by the way. I had vets. I'm also a student at vets. Food. And I would like to encourage all of you to keep studying. You can never get enough of knowledge. Knowledge, it's like network. If you've got a cell phone and there is no network, your cell phone is useless. Its use is less. It's got the use, but its use is very less. Next. Now that we have a new plan, which is NDP, looking forward and saying this is what we want to do, how then do we utilize the related economic sectors to unpack what we're talking about? When we say sports, what is sports tourism? How does it link to us on a daily basis? We've got kids, abanye, we've got sisters, younger brothers, and older brothers. They attend sporting activities on weekends. We go there as parents because we need to be there. We book for accommodation. We eat in a restaurant. We organize transport through tour operators. But we are not aware that we are already in tourism. And these are opportunities that we can do as entrepreneurs. Just to focus on schools. Go to schools and say, I'm a tour operator, I've got transport, I know that you've got different sporting codes and leagues, and you will require transport to take kids. And I've got these requirements on the car, even if it's for people living with disability. Just to transport kids that are on wheelchairs, it's a business opportunity. You can be geared for that in sports. But also, all different sporting codes, moving from area to area, from Osizwe to Danhausen, from Danhausen to Utrecht. So you are now getting into a culture of understanding that through sports there is tourism. And by the way, this sector is almost $800 billion. So where are you in that? Where are the opportunities? Are you in the production of equipment? Are you in the production of the real athletes? I'll make an example again about my former at UP. You've got a science, what is it called? High Performance Institute of High Performance, where they are specializing in enhancing the capability of an athlete, ensuring that the right muscles are built for the right sport, the right kind of treatment should you have injuries. That's also an opportunity. And I'm going to make another example which some of you will be familiar. There was an East Coast Sports Club here in Newcastle. We know how many athletes were developed through that, just as a sports club. Why don't we revive such? We had athletes that, in fact, starting from the Betamwa, we had a boxer in our class. We also had a road runner. They were running in provincial colors and national colors ultimately. So through sports, there is science involved, which is the high performance. Through sports, there is leisure involved when you visit other areas. But also, through sports, there are two things. There is a primary market, which are your athletes. We have comrades in the province. We have Mandela Marathon, we have Amashobashova, we've got soccer, in sporting field, we've got rugby, we've got cricket, and all these activities take people around. Each time there's a sporting event, accommodation is full. You heard from the previous speaker, Saga Games, they occupy the whole area. Newcastle has hosted even conferences for different political parties. Accommodation is the first thing that gets booked. But where are the opportunities in the 4IR? It's understanding the number of bed nights that Newcastle can offer, have them online. It's understanding the grading of such accommodation, how many 5-star, how many 4-star, how many 3-star, how many ungraded, how many can accommodate people living with disability. But also that comes with an opportunity for other skills as well. Now you need your chef, bed and breakfast. You need qualified chefs so that you can improve your standard of your breakfast. Don't just take anyone. but there are different types of eggs. If I'm asking for a poached egg and I want it soft and you bring it to me hard, I will take it back. It's already a loss for you because you must prepare another egg on top of an egg that will not be consumed. So professionalism comes into place. Now you need chef. Now you have Amajuba, Tibet producing our chef that we take and place around different guest houses around here. So sports, tourism, and hospitality is broad. We haven't even touched the iceberg. So when you are sitting and saying, Ish, what can I do? Just look around and just focus on what is it that you are passionate about so that we don't have to wake you up and tell you it's late. No one tells me it's late when it has to do with tourism. I'm actually never late because the industry does not have the luxury. If you're at the airport, the flight is leaving at 10:30, it's gone. It's gone. The eating chancellor who is a session nicer, they don't care. They must get there on time. Someone's got to do business. So the issue of film, I've decided to club film and culture deliberately because through film, you're selling a particular culture, be it a gangsterism culture, be it a cultural culture, be it a corporate culture, be it a sporting lifestyle culture, be it a documentary, be it a musical documentary. In Newcastle in 2012, I don't want to say the municipality started the film industry, but it started to formalize the sector. First thing, it identified it as an opportunity to market tourism. If films are shot in your area, it's your area that gets reflected. So how is the relationship between film, culture, and tourism? Is that you invite filmmakers, you invite script writers, they start writing about your culture. The previous speaker spoke about the history of this area, linking the historical aspect, the heritage sites, the heritage landmarks. We are very rich. So how do you blend such and make it consumed by the world and ensure that a film that is shot in Black Rock will always reflect Black Rock? Next. Fashion and culture also, it's the same thing. I mean, we dress differently. Even the previous speaker, reflected a certain cultural aspect of our broader cultural offering as a province. We're a province that has got many cultures. You know, if we are like Muntu, just here in Muntu. You go to the south, Batete. You also go to the Midlands. It's different Zulu. There's an expression of certain vowels over others. So you come to the north, the narrative is different. So how do you analyze such and say to international visitors, within the very same Zulu kingdom, there are so many variations. What is your interest and how can we be of best service to you? Next one. I also decided just to revisit you can just go through this. Just press. Yeah. Okay, no, not the last one. Okay. I decided to reflect on this. I've seen also that the officials from the municipality. I'm hoping this has not changed. There's nothing new. Is this still the vision of tourism? Yes. In 2013, when this was crafted, there was a specific focus to say you can't be everything. You can't compete in sports tourism, there is Durban. You can't compete in coastal, you are not on the coast. You can't compete in other areas, but where can you compete? You can compete on nature and outdoor. We've got many dams within one district. But how do we utilize those dams? Activities in the dams, the biodiversity within such, the status of some of the dams, they are protected areas, and there is value that comes with that. Heritage, friendly people, you know. It took me time to understand that you can research the friendliness of an area, and there is evidence, you know, because all this is based on research that people of Newcastle are normally friendly, welcoming. They are also go-getters. They want to be prosperous. You know, it's very rare that you'll find people on a Friday after this time sitting and listening for business opportunities. You know, we are busy chasing what we don't know in other sectors. Next. Then a vision saying leading business travel events capital in the inland. We're qualifying it in the inland because we want to revive that culture of a sports club which enable different sporting codes. I can count many soccer stars. Susan Dawood, Women Kelly, Fanny Madid. You know, you won't even believe that the co-founder of Kaizer Chiefs is from this area. And it's recently passed on, and there was evidence when such accolades were afforded to the family. So it is very big, but you want to be offering heritage and providing prosperity for businesses. And this is the key part, because if you as businesses are not deriving any value in tourism, it's very easy to close the door and look for where the next man is going to come. You need to pay rates, you need to pay rent, you need to pay staff. So what are the business opportunities? Next. The opportunity is a problem. You see, most billionaires, in fact all billionaires, all wealthy people, they did not become wealthy by mistake. all they did was to solve a problem. Bill Gates solved a problem. Correct? Yeah, so you have to identify a problem. So this is a problem. It's a problem that you've got 37.4 unemployed youth in Amachuru. I'm talking about Amachuru, not the country. These stats are for Amachuru. So you've got young people who are more than close to 40% in this region. They are sitting at home. No, they are idle. It's a ticking bomb for a revolution, which is why I'm taking it very serious. Next. Whilst we have legislation that talks about film, culture, sports, and all these things, that is not implemented by government. Funny enough, I'm talking on behalf of government, but I'm also reflecting on the mishaps of the very same government. But you are also government. But how then do you utilize this knowledge to ensure that you are able to engage with your local authorities so that their existence is of assistance to your business endeavors? Next. Employment opportunities. No, it's fine. You just go through. You can press. Now, press it all. We started by wanting to market Newcastle on television, but there were multiple spin-offs out of it. First, it was the frustration of not having enough budget to market. Then you become innovative because you can't be lamenting, oh, I don't have budget to market.